Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the Tantric podcast with Rebecca and James. Quick announcement, we're starting a community for woke folk where we can talk to each other and discuss future episodes, future guests, see what everybody's thinking. So I'm excited to connect with you guys. So if you want to know about that, in 2 days, I'm emailing the entire woke newsletter about all that information, where to find us, how to get in there. So get on the newsletter, woke.as, stick in your email. Other announcement is Rebecca will be speaking at the Infinite Man Summit May 26th to 28th in Sofia, Bulgaria. 2017 is the year. If you haven't gotten your tickets, guess what, folks? Early bird tickets are available right now on infinitemansummit.com. Hope to see you there, and let's do the episode.
Are you ready to get woke? Welcome to the Woke as podcast with your host, Alex Lazarev.
Well, that's what happens when you get that level of consciousness about yourself and the feminine and life and existence and consciousness. That's how it works. That's what happens. You feel ecstasy. You feel ecstatic. And sometimes you can be orgasmic just by conjuring it up in your head, literally. And it's beyond any physical orgasm you've ever had.
It's funny how this one theme of consciousness runs into everything, whether it be, spirituality, sex, even eating consciously,
Which makes it pleasurable.
Listening consciously. I mean, it's almost like the system wants us just not to be conscious in any way, right? It's kind of scary because once you start waking up to it, it's like it's not that hard. It's just like be present and conscious with everything that you're doing.
That's
including
why
the sex.
The focus is on the future or the past or externalities. Like, wow, look at this car, look at this iPhone, look at this. Everything outside. Keep your gaze outside. Look forward, look back. But what I tell my clients, I work as a therapist. One of the things I recommend, practices when they're having a hard time, is go outside or look at something natural. It could be a flower, a tree, it could be a view.
A moon.
But something that made by nature, which the moon may or may not be, but anyway, because nature follows this sacred geometry, the like 5 spirals from the heart. That's a whole nother topic, but love is a natural thing. If you focus on nature and just breathe it in, that's the meditation. Eyes open, listening, smelling, feeling the sun on your skin, whatever it is, but be completely present. And as thoughts come in, just let them pass on out, because the power is in the present moment. And as we become more and more able to dwell in the present, maybe the first time you try it, it only works for 3 seconds. Then maybe you can go up to 10 seconds. Then maybe you can actually sit and meditate. Or maybe you get to that place by doing yoga or Tai Chi or running or dancing. The point is to shut off that mind that's been programmed that says, oh, we've got all these abuses from the past. Whoa, I have wounds, I'm hurting. Or, oh, the future, I'm so scared. What if I don't have enough money? Well, how am I going to take care of my kids? How am I going to pay the bills? The whole programming is to keep us out of the present, because that's another key that will help us get in touch with our power. And then we can stand on our own 2 feet and say, no, you know what? This moment is a beautiful moment. In fact, Thich Nhat Hanh wrote a book called Present Moment, Beautiful Moment. And it's a series of, I recommend it, you just read it, meditate on that, however long you can keep your attention. Maybe it's only 5 seconds when you start, but it's like any exercise. You keep practicing, and then you become more able to be present. Now, many tantric practices are about doing that with your lover. So, for example, one tantric practice, eye gazing, is you sit in front of your lover, or stand or lie together, whatever, and are nonverbal, just looking into one another's eyes, because that brings you into the present moment. Try doing that for 5 minutes. You'll find your mind leaping all over the place, like, oh, what do I should say? Well, what about him? And what'd she think about me? until you can quiet all that and just behold your lover.
A lot of the bullshit will drop off during that 5 minutes, so that at the end of that 5 minutes, you really just focus on each other. Boom. You can do that with a stranger and go boom. I mean, you guys are shy, just be willing to look in the eyes of somebody else, a woman or a man, doesn't matter. Look into the eyes, and if you do that for 5 minutes, guaranteed, stuff's going to drop off that has been hindering you, and you're going to find another level of communication that'll be blissful.
Because we drop our masks. If we can recognize that we've been programmed since birth to not trust ourselves, not trust another. We've been programmed from birth not to be in the present moment. We've been programmed from birth to think that we are weak, that we have no power.
To be unconscious, not conscious.
All these distractions. When I look at a lot of what our society is, it's either, because I don't know if you all have noticed, but we're in the 6th great extinction. We are losing thousands of species a day. This is not an infinite process. It will culminate in
Maybe our lifetime.
Probably our own extinction of the human race. Okay, this is going on. Hello, big news, should be on the headlines every day. Do you see it in the headlines every day? Well, maybe if you read a science journal, you might. But no, instead, it's either distraction, entertainment, or numbing. Because we are in a process of the end of our species. Now that might make you feel like, well, then fuck it. Why not go get drunk? And because it's not too late, and we can actually grab hold of our reality and steer the boat. We don't have to go down with the stinking ship. The sinking, stinking ship. We don't have to go down.
I think subconsciously that was perfectly accurate, as you intended.
So when I look at, especially...
In other words, keep doing what it is you believe in doing. Don't let the world falling apart stop that. Be aware, but don't be concerned to where it makes you cease doing what it is you feel called to do.
And participate in this process. Because if we abdicate our power, the 6th great extinction will take its course. And any of us that have children may actually have a vested interest in not leaving them a world that is a dystopia, a horror show, which is what's playing out. But it doesn't have to be that way. And we can, as we grab hold of our own power, then we can grab hold of our own sexual energy. We can share that with another. And this is another reason the plantation master does not want successful relationships, is because that plantation master or masters know that one person, one self-empowered person, is a powerful force. If you put 2 of them together, especially if they are complementary, like those that have masculine qualities getting together with those that have feminine qualities, now you've got like, whoa, this could be hell on wheels. This unity, this union of the couple could actually really accomplish something. And if we're aware and conscious that we'd rather live than die, or we'd rather enjoy life instead of suffer, then we would turn this thing around. And there are those who are invested in just the opposite.
And you can look at it this way. Look at the entire structure of society as a pyramid, with the most insidious controllers at the very top of the pyramid, and us as society at the bottom of that pyramid, supporting that pyramid. What happens if we all walk away from under that pyramid? It collapses.
And they know that.
And they know that. And that's actually happening as we speak. I wanted to throw something in that dawned on me in the middle of this conversation a couple of minutes ago, and I'm going to say it so I don't forget it. But I think I had a little epiphany, is that consciousness is the actual source of true bliss and pleasure. When you're conscious, you can't have a higher level of pleasure than when you're conscious about it. You can go out and fucking get your rocks off and have fun for 5 minutes, but the pleasure level will increase greatly the more conscious we are about it. And we can also look at this like we're in a big insane asylum, and all we have to do is clean the windows to see what's going on out there and take the key out of our minds and unlock the doors, because it'll be that easy, and walk out into a whole new paradigm.
Yeah, I mean, I got lucky. I had a friend who just got me into some basic Tantra stuff when I was quite young. And let's just say many women have.
You think it's luck?
Me.
I call it, I came up with this word today, earnergy. Earnergy. You earned the thing that you think is luck, which for me is like something cool happening, but not acknowledging the source of it. Where good fortune or earnergy, as I've just today coined in town, is you have earned through your energy whatever it is that's happening to you. You're responsible. It ain't dumbass luck.
This is something I'm reading a book now called the Yoga Vasista, which is really heavy. It's like one of the most ancient, like Sri Sri Ravi Shankar said that if you read that book, you'll either reach enlightenment in this life or the next life. It's that hardcore. And one of the things that's said in the book, which is exactly what you said, basically, or very similar, which is what's happening to you now is a combination of what you're doing now and everything you've done. Your karma is everything you're doing now plus everything you've done in your past lifetimes.
It's all connected,
Yeah, I mean, it's literally those two. And the now, it was saying the now is always more powerful, and you can always trump the past lifetimes if you really work at it in the now. But if you've been doing good work, boy, that certainly does help. Mm-hmm. And it's basically what you're saying. It's like everything that's happening to us is earned. I mean, it's not,
And my personal guru, Jama G, has come out with a really simple 4-word instruction on how to get enlightened. And it's just simply take out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
You take out the trash, there you go.
Yep.
And there's no final goal, but it's a beginning point. When the path disappears, then the real adventure begins.
So that means do the shadow work, do the self-help techniques, get counseling, do a spiritual practice.
Drop the fear.
Because we've been programmed with trash. So we take out the trash, and what's left? These perfect golden beings, who we are.
Here's a question for you, because Josh was on episode 1, and, we've been talking a lot, and I brought up sort of almost half jokingly, because he talks about how, again, Sri Sri said, once you're done with the world, the eating, the traveling, being in the world, the doing, the sex, all that stuff, when you're ready to walk away from all that, then come to me, then you can go for enlightenment. And I said to him, well, some people, there's a tantric path to enlightenment as well. And he kind of laughed, and he was just like, he said, listen, how many people, you go around and do a poll and you tell me how many people reached full enlightenment through tantric sex. And I was like, well, I know what's going on. So I didn't really have an answer. So I wanted to ask you guys, is it really a path to full self-realization?
A path, guaranteed. The path, there's no such thing. A path, absolutely. Josh is not really informed on the world history of Tantra and how many people are actually into it all over the world. It is definitely a path, if you want to call it conscious awareness, being enlightened, because maybe he thinks Tantra is simply a sex act. It's not. It's an awareness that you achieve through having conscious sexual activity or other awarenesses through meditations and other forms of eye contact, breathing, realization, etc. So I have to disagree with him that it permeates more in the world than is commonly known.
So I could explain it this way. Tantra is a non-dual path. And all the religions have an esoteric part of them, like Islam has Sufism, and there's the Gnostics in Christianity, and there's the Kabbalists in Judaism, and there's the Vajrayana Buddhism in Buddhism. There's all kinds of, all religions have this hidden, secret path that involved sexuality. Now, why would that be the hidden secret path? Well, on one hand, many religions want to control people, so yes, they can't let you know how powerful
Some
sexual
consider it
energy is.
dangerous.
But it is dangerous because once you get the feel of how much energy you have, it can be, I think one of the Rinpoche says it's like trying to hold on to an electric wire. So yes, you would have to be trained. It would take a while of practice so you know how to handle it. But the Tantric path being non-dual means this. There's the ascending path of spirituality and the descending path of spirituality. In the ascending path, it looks heavenward. It says that the body is corrupt, the world is illusion. So we're talking Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism. It says you must leave the world behind. Now, if you're a Tantrika on a spiritual quest, you will follow that first ascending path to realize, oh yeah, this is all illusion. This is one of my co-creations, and then go into why did I do it and all that stuff. So that is a practice. It means learning meditation, practicing yoga.
It's also an ancient philosophy.
Well, yeah, it was the ancient way. You first ascend. Then, once you realize, oh, it's all illusion and it's my creation, so I can actually play in it how I wish. So then you take the descending path. Now, when you look at just the descending religions, that's paganism. Most indigenous religions, which are earth-centered, we are in bodies. Scientism, also science says if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. Prove it to me. So those who are doing only the ascending path, that is a path of spirituality and realization. Those who are doing the descending path, yes, that's also a valid path. But what Tantra is, being a non-dual path, it says you first must ascend, realize its illusion, and then the natural product of that, when you look at the world, is going to be compassion. And so you will want to descend and live on earth in your body, enjoy the pleasures of the body, but now with consciousness. So that's the difference. When James said,
the key word in all of this is consciousness.
When James said the point is have fun, yes, but have fun with awareness, knowing that your actions have consequences. You can create a whole heap of karma with just one act. So you want to do it with awareness. You want to have your eyes and all your senses open. And that's why I'm a Tantrika. I follow many ascending practices. I do ascending meditation and fourth dimensional awareness and all of that that's not of this earth. And I do descending practices. I love to dance. I love to make love. I love good food. I connect with the earth. As a whole of energy circulating through me, that's one definition of the Tantric spiritual path.
Right.
Very interesting. Now, is it necessary to get that? Because it sounds like you're saying it is necessary to ascend up first and have that. It's all a fucking dream. Okay, let's have a blast. You can't just go into the descending without that realization, because then you wouldn't be doing it consciously. You have to realize this is not it. This is just creation.
Yes, because creation. What that would be hedonism.
Right.
And
boy, do I know some guys into that. Woo! There's a whole bunch of people I got to send this podcast to. I'll tell you right now.
We're into a little hedonism too. Let me reiterate.
Conscious hedonism.
I don't know if I'm reiterating, but let me iterate that in Tantra, technically there are no rules, to what's right and what's wrong. To me, basically, it's do no harm, and then everything is okay.
Well, it's about being consciously aware. It's doing whatever you do with consciousness. But you don't just pick consciousness up one day saying, hey, I'm awake and aware. It generally, sure, you could have a lightning bolt hit you and become enlightened, I guess. But for most of us, it involves practice. Yeah. And in fact, if you look at the golden age of India, it was 1,000 years. It wasn't 1,000 years everywhere, but on the Indian subcontinent, it was called the Tantric age. To study that age, when I studied it and when we lived in India, it gave me so much hope. It's like, wow, equal rights for men and women, free education, free healthcare. The arts were celebrated. There's
Sexuality not shameful.
Yeah, the temples were sexual places where people went to make love. You know, it was like, whoa, this is awesome. What was the downfall? Islam, the Mughals invaded from the north, but why were the kingdoms weak? Most of those princes and kings had fallen into hedonism. So that's why it's the esoteric part of most religions.
Male dominator pathology.
Well, yeah, but Tantra was about equality. During the Tantric age, there was equality, but certainly...
No, the downfall, part of the cause of the downfall was a male takeover, less awareness of the principle of the feminine and appreciation for it.
That's what came in, but the weakness within was, and you can read about, there were whole kingdoms where the rulers were just into debauchery because the pleasures of the body and good food and good wine and good marijuana and good, soma and whatever else they were doing, you could lose sight of the fact. You could be seduced into the illusion again. So it's a fine line to walk, but it's certainly wide enough to enjoy a whole range of pleasures.
Again, they lost consciousness of it.
Right.
That is totally the C word. It's consciousness.
And it's so interesting because just like there, you can have it and then lose it. I mean, I'm going through the struggle all the time. My whole life I've been in my head. Now, just recently, I'm like, whoa, the heart, it's totally different. Wait, I'm back in my head. Oh, shit. And, I think most people on the path, it's a struggle. We're programmed, it's hard. But again, if you keep reminding yourself to be conscious, you make it's like any practice.
I think
the more
it's the source of creation of whatever all of this is. I think it involves consciousness, not our form, our mind type, but behind the mind. What is, like Sri Ramana said, you want to ask who you are? Well, who's asking is where you go. What's behind the question? What's behind the witness? That consciousness is what we want to keep practicing to get in touch with. And Tantric yoga is one of those ways. There's many ways. Tantric yoga is simply one of them. And it is a yoga, and anyone who knows yoga teaches yoga. You don't need to be learned. You don't need all the books, all the instructors. Just practice it on your own, and it will teach you.
But you do have to practice it. That's the thing.
No,
and
you
we can
don't
get
have
lazy.
To. In Tantra, you get to.
Right.
Because you're having sex. Come on. So.
It's so interesting because, again, I'm doing this whole podcast on, my journey and interviewing people on the journey to spiritual enlightenment and, waking people up out of the matrix. But it's so interesting because I'm reading these books that are like, yep, you got to, forget everything. It's all about the divine bliss, get in that state. You don't need sex. You don't need anything. And then it's like, well, hang on a minute. Why is sex so awesome? Why does food taste so good? Why are we in a planet where there's so many of these amazing physical experiences that we're not supposed to?
Why do we dance when we hear music?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? No dancing now. Oh, no, don't touch that puppy. That's a physical sense. Hey, don't take a piss or shit either, frankly, because those are enjoyable. What are you talking about? So it doesn't make sense to me. It makes more sense to me to do both. Ascend, realize it's a dream. Get into that space of oneness, so you can, and also, feel what you really are. Get in touch with what you really are, and then go, okay. Even though I'm that consciousness, I'm in this body. Let's fucking party.
That's right.
Because we're going to go back there anyway. You can't escape not going. We're all heading there anyway.
Yeah.
We're here for who knows how long. Let's fucking have a great time.
Yeah, and learn from it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're built to have fun. And like I said, if you really want to have the total level of bliss and pleasure, be conscious about it. Yeah. And then you're there. To me, that's enlightenment. There's no goal. There's no arrival point. It's a continuum that will always expand for eternity. So it's not like we have to worry about, wherever, some place to arrive at. You can be there now, right here, this very second, just by going, I accept the fact that I need to be conscious. That's practice what it takes. Boom! That is 100 years ahead of people that are not even thinking they're asleep, being aware that they're asleep. Just inquiring is way ahead of the game, and it's a great place to go from.
And you can start in this moment.
Right.
Anyone can.
In this place, at this time.
In this body.
Right now. That to me is what Christ consciousness is. Even though they don't advertise it, it's we can self-realize here and now. We don't have to wait for death and some reward after life.
Well, that's again one of the huge traps, right? Don't have any fun here, but you're going to go to heaven, and fuck off.
Yeah, follow the rules now so you can
Bullshit.
have fun later.
It's fucking bullshit. And anyone who has, who's taken copious amounts of ayahuasca, San Pedro, near-death experience, all LSD, who's seen the other side, will tell you the same thing. It's all absolute love and joy and oneness. It's wonderful. And so heaven and hell are right here, right now, depending on what you choose, what you manifest.
Perception.
100%. And I've been in absolute hell on this planet, and I've been in heaven too. And it really is here for the taking, and it's up to us to choose. It really is up to us. And the giving up that power that some other force can decide our reality, that is a treachery of what we really are. It's really betraying
yourself. And it lets outside devious entities come into you that feed off you and take you even deeper into the abyss, into the contraction of your own life.
Yeah, we're going to do a whole other show about that. That's a different episode. Awesome. So what's one thing you would say to people if they are listening to this and they haven't had conscious sex, they haven't gotten into tantra, but they like the idea and they want to start, other than the eye gazing, which you've talked about? Let's give them another 2 things they could do that are easy. Maybe one thing with a partner, maybe one thing by themselves, so they could just get into it.
Yeah. Well. Yes, I want to reiterate, eye gazing, nonverbal. Get present. That's the first thing. Get present. And okay, let's address people who are in couples and people who are alone, who are single right now. Get present with yourself. And I often recommend mirror work. Just gaze into the mirror and listen to the voices that come up, and then have something you say like, "You're beautiful just as you are," or "You are perfect just as you are." I would say do mirror work so that you can feel at ease with yourself. Usually when I do mirror work, when I first started that, which is just something that came to me, was that I spent years looking in the mirror saying, "You're okay. You're okay." And then I began to say, wait a minute, who told me I wasn't okay? Obviously, I had programming that was telling me, you're not okay the way you are. So mirror work is one thing. Eye gazing is another. There's all kinds of tantric exercises.
Well, that little blue book by the Mirrors.
Yeah.
And Margot and Mond, there are some good publications. And when Venus and a Lover, 2 books come out, there'll be a lot of information in there. I would say that you can find some basic Tantra 101 that'll be very useful for beginners, and they're easy to find in almost any bookstore or online.
So I'll mention those titles. There's The Art of Sexual Ecstasy by Margot Anand, and she starts with, you've got to start with yourself, and then the book is full of exercises for the couple. It's very clear, easy to follow. Another one is Tantra, The Art of Conscious Loving by Caroline and Charles Muir. And our book, my book, the one that's coming out pretty soon, Venus and Our Lover, Transforming Myth, Sexuality, and Ourselves, includes my telling the story of exercises and experiences that we've had. And I tell it in a very easy to follow way so someone could adapt that for themselves.
It's a memoir of the nearly 2-decade process that we've gone through to produce this masterwork. So a lot of stuff will be in there for sure. And on a personal level, 2 guys or gals who are intimidated by their own selves, shy, living in fear of approaching the opposite sex or the same sex, depending on your proclivity. Do the best you can to eliminate any fear. Find some power inside you and be willing to take the leap. Not only go to the edge, step off the edge. Because I guarantee you will find that there is no bottom. You will grow wings, and you will soar, and you will learn from there what you need to do to be your own true self and be honest. That's all. Just be honest. Communicate. People that like that will show you that they like that. Now it will be the mutual attraction to start out with. Hi, I'm James. I love the feminine. I love communicating, and I love being open about it. And they will go, fuck off, or they will go, wow, that's cool. And just appreciate honesty in return for your honesty, and don't waste your time on the rest of the stuff. That's all. And you will find your life will open up.
Yeah, wise words.
And don't have intentions about, some kind of victory through this process. You're not trying to score, to get laid, to get anything. Have no expectation for outcome. Just be true to yourself, be honest, and watch what happens. Yeah.
It's like I've been following this guy for years. Philosophy. I think you were going to give us one thing for practice for a couple, maybe.
Yes, there's eye gazing that I mentioned, and the other one with the couple is to lay in bed together and spoon. Spooning is...
and breathing.
Yeah, yes, where you lay down together and you can decide who's the first one that would like to be protected and held. You decide, do you feel like you need to be held? Or I really need it right now? Because you're going to switch anyway, but who wants to be the first one? So let's say the man might be on the outside, the woman on the inside, and then this is also nonverbal. Just breathe together. Just breathe together for 5-10 minutes. And what we usually find is our bodies begin to move. And let the bodies communicate. So it's not eye to eye, it's the opposite. It's not seeing one another. It's just letting the sense of touch.
Yeah, start out with putting your hands on the chakras, starting with the root chakra. You can do that. And start out with the hand down there and move it up to the solar plexus and all the way through the third eye and up to the crown. Step by step, 7 locations on the body, chakras, and breathe through them. Just not for a long time, 15, 20, 30 seconds. Move it again, and just stay there and breathe into it and see what happens.
And then switch. And that's both these exercises, either eye gazing, where you're nonverbal and looking at one another, or letting the bodies feel, where you're not looking at one another, but you're also nonverbal, open the door for us to drop the masks, drop the programming, and let either the eyes lead us or the bodies lead us. Because we're used to the mind leading us all the time, and the mind has been programmed. So we have to, those are some suggestions we have for breaking through that programming.
And again, have no fear, enjoy yourselves. There's no rules. If you ejaculate too soon, don't worry about it. You can do it again. And just, the point is just to keep it honest and open and conscious. And it'll evolve, it'll expand all on its own. Trust is a good key word. Trust.
Trust is a very important word.
Yeah.
You brought up ejaculation, and we briefly touched on this earlier. I, again, was lucky, and I just stopped ejaculating when I was like 21. Once in a while, but generally speaking, I don't do it. And it served me very well over the years.
I bet.
And the question is, any extra bits of wisdom, and I've been saying for years, just it's a huge waste of energy, you're killing yourself, just stop doing it. But you mentioned some darker stuff about potentially beings feeding off that, and I thought that was fascinating. Can you give us a little bit more on that?
Yeah, well, that's a deeper rabbit hole, and I don't know how much people have studied this, but there's lots of information out now that there are fourth dimensional entities. If we look at everything, as above, so below, the corollary of, say, the dark cabal, who are running the governments and militaries and banks on this planet, there are also in a fourth dimensional condition, which they can be disembodied. And they really don't know how to self-source. There are those who say they're actually non-organic life. So they need to feed off of the life force of other beings. And one of the great ways, because we all know how we feel when we're aroused sexually, there's a lot of energy and it's exciting, and we can feel how we get juicy, and it, feeds all the cells in our body. Well, if we will just not use it to feed all the cells in our body, but throw the energy out, which we can do through ejaculation. And I'm talking mainly about men, because men have an external organ and the ejaculate goes out. That energetic then can be scooped up by others who don't have the benefit of bodies, but they still need our energy. And they can actually get hooks in us, as you well know, and then become a parasite. That's like, whoa, I know I can count on this dude to, tune in to pornography every other day, and I'm going to get my feeding, and I will suck the energy out of him, because they can't self-source. We humans can. We have this awesome heart chakra that connects us to all the dimensions and all of the universe that can then also feed our bodies. So not only are you doing it for your own health by grabbing hold of your own energy, but you're doing it to starve the plantation masters who are trying to keep us in an enslaved state. That's the view I see I did it in a very encapsulated way. But if you don't know about this, you could Google archons, AI, artificial intelligence, the Draco. All of these are theoretically the beings who are feeding off of us.
Let's not get too concerned.
Well, if that's not a reason to stop ejaculating, folks, I don't know what is,
Well, I was just going to say also, don't get overly concerned. This is a good principle, but it's not a rule. Like I said before, sometimes fast food is just fine, and other times a candlelit, romantic, gourmet meal is also fine. So don't worry about it if you ejaculate. It's okay. Just keep it conscious that you have a mission, you have a direction, an expansion a path that you're on to expand, and just let it come out naturally. Joke. But you'll find as you move along and you both get conscious about it and you think about it and you get more aware about it, you won't ejaculate as often when you make love. And that will build up and will give you energy rather than deplete it. And you will learn to experience an orgasm, a non-ejaculatory orgasm. That is the difference between a little small side salad and a bowl of, a cornucopia of the whole garden. Quite a difference, actually. And they're both great. They both have their place. So just keep your direction in mind where you really want to go. And if you want to expand, work on all that stuff.
Well, they're both great, except one of them makes you want to eat a sandwich and go to sleep for a couple of days and not have any more fun, and feeds alien entities, and the other one doesn't. So, let's shoot for the other, shall we?
Right. Well, like I said, it's all up to you. I just want to emphasize, don't feel guilty ever about anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's another thing I've been...
Because we're human. It's okay to fuck up once in a while. Embrace that, too.
Yeah, totally. And
it's not really fucking up. It's just learning.
The state, I'm getting to a place of, I don't really want to hurt anything that's conscious. And even the other day...
Well, you better stop eating.
Well, that's the thing. I'm trying.
Lettuce is conscious.
I've been doing sun gazing.
Tomatoes. You ever looked at a tomato? They're telling you stuff, man.
Yeah, we were talking about this today.
That's why I say thank you to whatever it is you eat.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving life for me. And then it'll be okay with it.
Yeah,
we hope.
The state that you're in when you do anything is the key. And even if you kill a mosquito, because it's going to get you, don't do it from an angry place. Do it from like a, hey, I still love you, but you got to go.
Yeah, I'm going to help you in your evolution.
That's right, to the next world.
What would you do with that mosquito if it was on your balls? Would you get angry at it? Hit it with a hammer? No. You'd be nice and gentle, move it away.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, guys, this has been a great time.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I just want to say again, our website is venusandherlover.com. And we're coming out with all kinds of new and exciting things. And there's a wide range of information and erotica on our site.
Yeah, have at it.
Awesome. I have a feeling we'll be seeing you guys again soon.
Yay.
Peace.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Sasha.
Thank you, bro.
Ciao.